Greetings, fellow janitors. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Oxygen Not Included Aquatic. Episode 17, The Big Box Storage Yard. Actually, for simplicity's sake, I might even want to run this below. There really isn't like a temperature problem with the pipes being exposed like that. And that way I can run clean water underneath. And then I think I have a plumber that can empty out pipes. Yeah. I could empty it out if I needed to, but I really don't need to. Just leave it to be used up. Or I could even run the salt water through the plumbing and just cause a little bit of damage. It's actually not a big deal. It just will cause a little bit of damage. We'll have a liquid bridge here, which then feeds fresh water, because this is freshwater fed. Fresh water to here, and then the polluted water will come out here once that is done. So we'll have another bridge there that brings the polluted water over to the filtration. Speaking of filtration, this, I'm sure, has been germ-free for a good long time, so let's let it cycle. And then, just for, like, the beauty's sake, not that my bases are ever beautiful, we can, actually, don't do that yet. I don't actually want them using it, because there's nowhere to put the polluted water yet. We'll, just clean up this sort of cable-y, power-y nonsense. Exposed cables and pipes and things are kind of ugly. As you can see, they have a negative decor. So if you leave a lot of your utilities exposed where they don't need to be, you end up with lower decor values than you need. And you can easily hide them instead so that they aren't ugly constantly. And I haven't been focusing too much on that, because that's more of like a late game thing when stress is an issue, because your dupes are really skilled, and not a problem I have right now. But sometime down the line, we're going to want to design it so that it's more naturally beautiful, and I'm not like fighting the dupes to try to keep it pretty. I am gonna disable this pump. Cheers, by the way. Can the lavatories be flipped? So, I think I explained, but like, yes, they could be flipped if I wanted to. Flip them the other way around. Like anything, pretty much everything with like, an input-output source can be flipped. So like a communal table doesn't have like a input source, right? It doesn't have inputs or outputs, so it can't be flipped, but like just about everything else can be. So if there is a input side or an output side or anything like that, it can be easily flipped. I just personally don't care that they're backwards. I mean, it doesn't matter to me that much. You don't think tables are shared unless there's mod for this? This is a communal table. So, by its definition of communal, it's definitely shared. It's just we don't have space for everyone. So I have a communal table hoping that they don't all eat at once. But that's something we could, improve upon in the future. All right, Snarf's finally got exosuit training, so he is not super slow. How's our oxygen look? Yeah, all right, it's thinning. I mean, I think we could probably stand to generate more. Oh, the other problem is we don't have any... Okay, I see. We need to put some beacons there. This went idle. I should have noticed that sooner. That's kind of the most important spot for the beacons. Because without it, we suffocate. Okay, I am no longer willing to be this patient. I'm just going to empty out these pipes. The brute force approach. Don't forget to dump the eggs out of storage. Yes, we don't need to be cooking them. You're right about that. So there's 5 incubating. And we'll be able to... Actually, you know what? I should just put the storage here. That makes more sense. So I'll move the storage box in here. The only issue with that is if the eggs plus the actively alive beacons exceed the population. No, maybe I won't do that. Because if I dump them out, that could make the ones that are alive unhappy. If I have too many eggs. So that's generating oxygen. What I don't have here is like airflow tiles. So I'm going to install them periodically so that there's better airflow around the base, which will disperse it more evenly. And we're almost done pulling the salt water out so that we can repurpose the pipe. Here we go, yeah. Just about finished. Now, if you want washroom access for the top suit dock, you can vote for that. But this plumbing project for this small bathroom is all set. And as you can see, it is a proper washroom. And 0 germs, and that liquid reservoir is completely full. Cool. Perfect. I think one just incubated and fell in. That's great. It's barbecue. We've had a lot of random foods being printed up. So big picture here. Our power grid's pretty robust. We have 6 titles, all feeding to 4 batteries on an automation wire that keeps them from generating unnecessary amounts of heat. Oxygen... we could get another flue coral generation set up I see the benefit. We just haven't voted for it yet. So it's just TBD. But like, I could see the benefit for it. One thing I could do as a stopgap is there is a pocket of oxygen here. We could access, you know, we can tap some of these other sources if there was a dire need. Speaking about gases, almost all the polluted oxygen has filtered out. As you can see, it's no longer being introduced. It's going to overpressurize here to 1.8 K. And then all the gases we didn't want to accumulate will be up here. There is bleach stone, which I'm going to start sweeping as a higher priority so that it isn't constantly adding new gas to the equation. I hadn't done that. But this is so that there isn't any trapped gases. So soon we'll be able to just vacuum this out. And then it seems to me like you guys want improved storage. I'm just about at my storage max. Now the question about improved storage is, I'm of the mind, at least for now, that using solid transport generates more heat and requires more power than is absolutely necessary for the scale of our operations. But at some point we're going to want that. So to have some sort of unified storage area might be wise. And I'm not really sure where that ought to be. We could have it here. Or maybe slightly above, like here. Of a large storage array, avoiding where we might want to expand our flue coral grow up. That might make the most sense, I think. So, yeah, I could do that. What are you doing down here? Oh, grabbing fish. Sure. So let's do that. Add more storage. And I'm going to keep it frighteningly simple. So let's just line it here, cutting across, and just like adding an array of storages. I'm not going to overcomplicate it. This kind of storage does not have room for adding any real automation. But I think it's fine to have dumb storage. It doesn't at all bother me to have storage that can't be automation armed or anything like that. It's also worth noting that this area might be repurposed. It would be a lot of hauling, but it's more in the heart and core of our colony and could be used for like recreation rooms or like a double-tiered dining communal banquet hall-y thing. Like there's a lot of uses for an area like that, and we might want to repurpose it for that reason. So in this spot, I think I won't build it there for storage in case we have fish tanks in this area. I'll do something like that. Or actually, I could just be ladders. And then continue the storage. Because you could do a fish release, like, you know, here or something. If we have another tank. Speaking of which, 22. So maybe not that ladder all the way down. Although you got stranded, so I need to do something for you. And it looks like our communal eating did not accommodate everyone, because some of them were just out here eating. So noted. It's an imperfect system. Well, that's a lot of storage. And because everything has been sweep only, at some point, everything inside of the base will have been swept up. And then everything outside the base doesn't need to be swept up unless it's a resource that is critical or necessary for us to obtain. Like iron, for instance. So we're getting to a point where, like, the constant cleanup and the immense amount of storage space required is gonna stop. Yeah, I think our dining room is too small, and we should address that at some point. Alright, the tiles here were made of granite. That's dumb. Let me fix that. I'm really bad at selecting the local material when laying out my plans. Where then they have to, like, go fetch it from, like, God knows where. Imported. Feels weird, like this is all that the beacons need. They're just so undemanding for their happiness. Well, that's gonna get filled in pretty quick. I like how this fire pole is like, you better not let go. I'm glad there isn't, like, dupes don't do... I mean, dupes are pretty dumb, but they're not that dumb. Although, don't give Klee any ideas. They might change things. So before I copy and paste this, let's just make sure that the storage requirements make sense. We don't want liquefiable. We don't want rot, slime, polluted stuff. All seeds are fine. We don't want sublimators, critter eggs. But honestly, clothing is fine. I don't really care. Actually, we'll leave clothing out, so that I know we'll have dedicated clothing storages. Am I out of siltstone? Because I also made the... No, we still have some more. I made the storages out of siltstone, and I didn't have a ton of it. Breathability is kind of low. So with that in mind, the next project I work on is going to be another flue coral setup. It just has to be at this point. It's a non-option. So I'm going to start working on that too. Yeah, breathability around here is getting bad. Some of that is just like pooled carbon dioxide, and that is totally fixable. This carbon dioxide does not need to be stuck here. So we're about to finish the, oh god, that's still granite. We're about to finish the storage containers, and then I'll just pivot the priority to address breathability. Actually, there was a reason for there to be airflow tiles here, now that I think about it, was for the polluted oxygen reason, but whatever. It's not going to kill me that I do this. Oh yeah, I didn't mean to make it one smaller. I mean, doesn't... I guess it does matter for the fish drop, so let's actually fix that. Good catch. And it just so happens that it's like perfectly shaped so that I don't end up with like a sand fall on my head. Realistically, one starnacle is enough, so I'm going to go back and change the original setup to just one starnacle so we just have a lot less deliveries to make. And what is there to print? Just water? Sure. Alright, project storage is done-ish. There we go. And now, add more oxygen generation. Now, fortunately, I have the plumbing just like right here. I mean, it's not going to take much. To get this up and running. And I can always add more too. I have enough pearl for even another setup after this as well. And what I'd like to do is just generate so much oxygen that it's worrying about this is like a thing of the past. I just won't have to consider running low or out or anything like that. But I don't really understand. Is the wild... Oh! Ah, my math was wrong. The wild flu corals aren't producing the same quantity of oxygen, and I was assuming they did. So my math was off because my data was off. Good job, me. That explains everything. I was like, I was trying to figure out what was going on, but yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. Or a little, We're definitely generating a lot of beacons here, so I'm not too worried about running out of beacons. We're doing a pretty good job of keeping that tank stocked. And then maybe I'll raise the Queen of here up to 2K. Because it's supporting a second operation. And I'll just take this free oxygen while I'm at it too. So this is irrigated, and we're just trying to flood the tank so that we can start generating more oxygen. So to do the math, 37.5 times 1, 2, 3, 4 maybe is what I could reliably say we were tapping as wild sources, which is the equivalent of one more flue coral. So even then, that is what, 450? Oh yeah, no, it's 450 grams of oxygen a cycle for the 500 that we need. So we were in an active deficit. Got it. Because basically, each flue coral that is farmed and irrigated produces enough for a dupe and a half. But these guys only produce enough. Let's round it down, because they're not always illuminated anyway, down to 33 grams a second. It would require 3 of them at least, wild flue coral, to produce enough for a dupe. And that's where my math was wrong. So the obviously the wild sources are not the same. Yeah, sports fan gloves. They're Mickey Mouse gloves. You ain't fooling no one. Jazz hands. So if this is... I'm going to change the layout just a little bit. If what we pump is not oxygen, I'm just going to dump it basically straight on the skimmer when this gas pump runs. And one of the reasons for this is if I end up with another flue coral below this, because at some point I might want, you know, like, even more flue coral oxygen setups, it will scale better. You ain't doing anything? Alright, let's have you research. Creature comforts. Did I want to dump it outside the locks? No, I'm gonna carbon skim it instead. Because, you know, why not? You guys are just like, okay. Bunch of idleness. Just go and sweep everything. Base could be cleaner. You should have looked busy. Look what I'm making you do. Poor dupes. Got no chill. Okay, that's interesting. It's not filling equally, so it's just, like, not working. Alright, let's put 2 fry in there. In the new tanks. It's about... so, they'll have, starnacle access, like, limited starnacle access, but it should be fine. Also interesting that the fish release distances are very different. There we go. Okay, so now we are in the oxygen. Oh, you know what? I might be a little late for that. But there's a benefit for this project. Just so that this oxygen can flow more freely before the water level gets too high. So I'll try to get that done tomorrow. But yeah, our oxygen generation is now, like, virtually doubled. Went from maybe 450 grams to, we added just 300, so we went to, like, 7-something. 750. It varies a little bit due to illumination, but it's better. And I'm still tapping the wild sources, because, like, why not? As long as the beacons are laying eggs around there, it's free oxygen. I'll just leave it alone. Which reminds me... yeah, most of the polluted oxygen is gone from here. So I'm going to close this airlock and let it repressurize. Because it's there's little pockets here and there, but, like, most of the nasty is gone. And unfortunately, it also means that the carbon dioxide and the chlorine settled out. But the chlorine actually provides a bit of a bonus. If there's ever germs introduced into the oxygen, it will, like, it gets buffered here anyway. So, next project. Up to you guys. If you want me to, continually increase oxygen production. One thing I could do in as far as oxygen production goes, I don't think it's absolutely necessary, but I could pump it around, right? Because obviously we're generating it here, but it isn't equalizing quickly. I could use this to pump it around a bit. It wouldn't even take very much, because I already have oxygen in the pipes running north-south, and I could just, like, dump a vent here. You know, I'm gonna do, like, I'm just gonna do that even if you don't vote for it, because it's just so easy to do. Okay, that's not what I did. I hate when it, like, hiccups. Oh my god. When it hiccups on an autosave and it's just like, yep, we interpreted it wrong. Haha. It's like, no. It's not what I want. Not even close. Not even in the remotest vicinity. Yeah, I'll just put, just for the funsies, an aquatic grooming. And now the breathability will be filled in from the top, from the middle, from the bottom. Ish. I might also want a vent over here. As well. Just as a extra. So it spreads out a bit more evenly. But yeah, you can already see breathability is going up. And that's the stables. So if we wanted more eggs, the aquatic grooming station will help with that. It will make them not wild, but, you know, it will, it'll aid us. Oh, no! Oh, God! No, not you. We will help you. Did I? Oh, no, it's... Where are we? So the box I had for eggs got destroyed. Where did all the eggs go? I don't even know. I guess they hatched already, I assume. Yo, RCV, you have a task here, bud. Oh, he's like too busy doing other things. There we go. So, seems like Explore is going to be the popular option. Which I'm interpreting Explore downwards. Okay, this is going to be a little weird, but I don't want to have to swim downwards. So I'm going to east-west split this, where I'm going to fill this in so that I can not go through water, because there's only a little bit of water here that I have to displace with blocks, and then once I displace that, I'll just like keep going down, down, down. I think in the long run it'll make my life a little easier. So we're not like swimming everywhere. A little bit of pain now for a big bonus later on. And then when we want access to this west section, ooh, I gotta think about that. Like an unliquid lock. How do we get over there? I think the easiest way to do that is just to intentionally lower the water level so that I can just walk. So I'm going to fill this in here, lowering the water level so that I don't need to solve it in the same way. Oh my god. 806 kilograms of oxygen. Yep, nothing to see here. And what I'm hoping to do is to have like a 2-wide tube so that I can fire pole as well. I feel bad for these guys. They haven't, like, eaten yet. Oh, they're satisfied. I don't know. Maybe they're fine. Alright, that liquid level's low enough that it will work. There's, like, not a lot of wiggle room. So I might dig out a little bit extra, because we're going to displace a lot of water here. So, yeah, I'll dig out a little bit more. We don't even necessarily need to sweep it. I'm just making more space. Maybe what we'll do is I'll create a vertical column here so that these tanks connect if the water level dips too low. Don't forget my salt water filter. Yeah, I mean, we're pulling in salt water here, pulling in salt water there, and not that we're even using it. I'm not 100% sure what you mean. Oh, my saltwater drop point? Yeah, that's gonna need to move. Dumping it right into the tube we're trying to dry would be unwise. Thank you for watching Oxygen Not Included Aquatic, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. I'm not, however, looking for feedback. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow duplicates.